What's up, guys? Shin from Wrestle Wellbeing here. Welcome back to a brand new episode of the Unseen Battles, where today we're venturing into the heart of the Scottish independent circuit to celebrate a competitor who defined the underdog spirit of the modern era. Hailing from the gritty training grounds of Glasgow, she wasn't just a wrestler, she was the high-energy firebrand with a style defined by her unpredictable punk rock aesthetic and a heart that resonated through every arena from ICW to Pro Wrestling Eve. She climbed the ranks to become the inaugural Pro 2 Bells champion, and she's the current reigning, defending Shield Pro Women's champion. Though her time in the square circle was shorter than many hoped, she has thankfully made a return. Her impact on the Scottish women's division remains undeniable. From the Dreamtime DDT to the bond of the Angels of the Night, her story is one of passion, resilience, and a touch of madness. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the Unseen Battles. It is the one and only Miss Rosie Nyte. Rosie, thank you so much for joining me.
No, thank you for asking me on. I really appreciate it.
It's my absolute pleasure. How are things today, Rosie?
Yeah, they're fine. They're fine. As I was just saying to you before we went live, I came home from work and had some form of a nap. And so, but it's been a good day overall, yeah.
Fantastic. That's what I love to hear. So, the way this came about is actually a good friend of mine, Liam from Magical Wrestling, told me to get in touch with yourself after he had you on his podcast. What was it like being on Liam's podcast, if you don't mind me asking?
Yeah, I had a great time actually. We had such a laugh on it. For some weird reason, it just became kind of fun and light-hearted and all jokes and giggles.
I mean, you can't deny Liam is very good at what he does. I mean, just look at the caliber of people that he's had on.
Exactly. Yeah, he was brilliant. It was such a good time talking to him. Like, really enjoyed it. I even had my little brother featured at one point. It was a good laugh.
Fantastic. Hopefully, it'll be the same today.
Yep, for sure.
Fantastic. So, Rosie, we'll jump straight in love. Would you mind telling us what initially drew you to professional wrestling? Is it something that you've always wanted to do ever since you were a child, or is it something that you sort of came into later on in life?
No, it was I came into it later on in life. I must have been about 19 when I'd watched it as a kid and, kidded on to be like John Cena or Eddie Guerrero on the trampoline, like the usual, like how we all begin on the trampoline. But it was actually after my wee brother Logan Smith, I went to go and see his debut on from PBW Academy. When I went to go and watch him debut, and I thought that looks pretty easy. I could probably do that. Obviously, I'm now eating my words of this looks easy. Had a conversation with Kid Fright, and he was like, "Listen, come along, get a try. Like, we need more girls. Like, we don't have enough." Um, Told my wee brother Logan that I was going to go and try it, and he'd said to me, "I'll be at 100 quid. You don't even last a week. No, not a week, a month. I bet you don't even last a month." And here I am, still going. um, but yeah, and as I'll say in every single podcast, I did not get my £100.
Fantastic. Can you describe that first training session for us? What was it like when you first stepped into the ring?
It was chaotic. I was luckily I knew obviously Logan, and I also knew Angel Hayes just from personal life. So I kind of had they two as like concrete people that I already recognised. But when you walk into somewhere and all these people are like grappling on these mats and like just doing all these random moves, you're just kind of like, am I at a zoo or like what is going on? So obviously you don't really know what you're walking into. I walked into just mats and I was like, hold on, where's the wrestling ring? How do you become wrestlers without a ring? Like, surely you need a ring and ropes to know this. Like, these are just like gymnastic mats on the floor. So Yeah, it was like I didn't know what I was expecting when I woke up that morning and headed there. But do you know what? It was absolutely unnerving, but at the same time, it was one of the most welcoming places you walk into because everybody introduces himself, everybody wants to speak to you and just make you feel welcome, and that's how I felt, to be honest. I don't know if part of it's because I was Logan Smith's big sister, but no, I was just made to feel so welcome in that moment. So didn't help the nerves of knowing that not knowing what I was actually going to do when I arrived there because I wasn't expecting to get there and be like suddenly Rey Mysterio. But so that was kind of like the other side of it. Like I was excited once like I'd started talking to people and you know chatting away and stuff. And then after that, it's like, right, so what am I actually doing here? Because surely I need to do something.
Absolutely. What was it like when you took that first bump? I know that the people I've had on before, they've sort of given like a mixture of responses.
So my first bump I took was on a crash mat. That was lovely. It was like falling into a big pillow. Um, the my first like real one on the should I mention again? Just judo mats. Like we didn't have a ring. We still don't have a ring to train in. Like not that I see a flaw with that. I think it's brilliant. But the first time I took a bump on that judo mat, I actually pretty sure I like felt my soul leave my body. Like I was like, I'm willingly doing this. I'm willingly flinging myself basically onto a wooden floor. Why am I paying to do this? I still do it every time I take that first bump after like a week off for training. I take that first bump and I'm like, this is not selling, guys. I'm actually in pain.
What would you say is your least favorite bump? Would you say it's a back bump, front bump, or a side bump?
uh Probably, oh goodness me. It's got to be the flip bump. I
Mhm.
don't like a flip bump. Like you land just so weirdly. Like, well, no, you probably shouldn't land weirdly, but you just don't know how you're going to land once you've flipped. Like, it just sucks. Like, not only do I feel dizzy because I've just flipped, I also have just landed on my back. It's just not the one.
Absolutely. So, what would you say is the best advice that your training that your coach ever gave you?
Be myself. Like, don't let people judge you, or if somebody doesn't like you, then that's on them, not on you. Like, they're not going to be the ones that pay your bills or determine the rest of your life. So just be yourself. If people don't like it, then stuff them basically. Like, and that's not only does that take place in the wrestling scene, it's also in everyday life kind of advice. Is I don't hide who you are just to please others, basically. And still to this day, would say that he would say is don't kid on you're somebody you're not, 'cause it's not going to get you anywhere.
Absolutely. So, obviously, we mentioned you're training under Kit Fight.
Yeah,
No small feat whatsoever.
no.
Um, what was the most like sink or swim moment you experienced during your time at the PBW Academy that prepared you for the Scottish indie scene?
Probably my first ever training match. Um, because
Mhm.
it wasn't like, oh, here you go, like this. Here's weeks of prep to tell you that you're going to be doing a training match. It was just one day, sitting down. Roisin, get up, go and do a training match, and I was like, sorry, like, s- do I know how to do these things? Like, so it was basically here's an experienced person, go and work out a match and get through it. And I was like, oh no. Oh no, I should have listened to all those training sessions. Maybe I'd know what I was doing.
Absolutely, absolutely fantastic. So, who would you say are some wrestlers that inspired you throughout your journey? I know you mentioned John Cena and Eddie Guerrero. Is there anyone else in particular?
um. Oh, see, you could have told me about this question. Eh, I don't know. Like one of them for me is Becky Lynch as well. Like she's not a girl that she's not one of these wrestlers that walked into it through like family or already previous fame. Like she worked from the bottom, the unknown
Hmm.
to the top. Like she didn't come in with she already knew people in WWE or she was related to somebody in WWE. Like she went for the bottom of like training, trying to get booked, fighting to get booked, to just yeah. So it's like that song like started from the bottom. Now I'm here. Like she's like that. She's like that inspiration to me. Like she did. She wasn't one of the people that was handed everything she fought for where she needed to be. She wanted to get. So I find that quite inspirational. Like she wasn't handed everything on a silver platter. She worked for it and proved why she deserved to be there.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, as I mentioned in the introduction, you were the inaugural Pro 2 Bells champion. In an industry built on legacy and firsts, what did holding that gold mean to you? And did you feel a shift in how your peers viewed you after that win?
Um, for me it was to show like because obviously the show the promotion had just got up and running and it was like the first couple of shows and actually it was the first show that I was on that they were doing the women's belt.
Hmm.
And I knew the promoter Cameron Finlay and that was mostly through like like previous like silly shows stuff like that. Like I didn't know him like perfectly well, but obviously he knew my brother quite well, and we'd been chatting obviously after he'd asked me to come on Pro 2, which was a fairly new promotion in my area. So like I live in Ayrshire and Pro 2's ran in Ayrshire.
Hmm.
And when I found out that day that I went to go to to the show, I was in shock because I was like, I haven't been on your shows yet. Like, and I remember the promoter Cameron Finlay had said to me that the reason, although yes, I'd not been on the shows and he'd not particularly watched me constantly wrestling, he found that the way I conducted myself outside the ring more respectful than what I could do in a ring. And for him, like that was more important was the respect on the outside of the ring. Which made his decision apparently easy, on who was going to hold it first. And I held a lot of value in that, like knowing that like someone had looked at the way I just been myself and went, that respect that you gave me is how I show you back. So like to me it's like owning, like being given a belt shows that the company respect you and trust you rather than, oh my god, you can do 15 backflips, everyone will love you. Like and that meant a lot to me that they rather than just they didn't just look at my wrestling, they also looked at me as a individual outside the ring as well. um
Hmm.
so and I wouldn't say my peers viewed me differently. Like they all congratulated me and stuff, and but I don't. They just. I never was treated any different because I had a belt. Like they still were very much the same. Annoying. Is that the answer?
Yeah, that's fine. So, so obviously, when you arrived to the venue that day, you were told, "Oh, you're going to be the first champion. Does that sort of light a fire under you? Does it give you more? Does it put more pressure on you, sort of thing? How did you prepare for that big match?
For me, it was like anxiety and excitement all riddled into one big bundle of balls. I was like, if I'm going to be taking this belt today, I don't want me to go out and not perform at my best for them. Like, I
Mhm.
want to win over that crowd. I want that crowd to, at the end of that match, know that I deserve that. Like, no matter what I have to do. And I also want to show the promoter, like, who he is putting trust in. Um, so it was like a bundle. Like, I was dead excited, but I was also like so nervous because I was like, oh no, nothing can go wrong here. Yeah. It's
Absolutely. So
one of
how
the
would you
ones.
say how, how would you say that you prepared for that match, both physically and mentally? Was there a certain stretch that you did? Is there certain music that you listened to before you go out?
Actually, no. I think I like to. I tend to just pace up and down and like ghost shadow the match, like as if I'm actually wrestling it. Like go through the steps in my head. Like backstage, you'll normally see me going, just making random noises. But that's how I prepare. It's like getting all my pented up energy out of nonsense before I go out. But yeah, no, I don't do
Absolutely.
like stretching or anything or listening to music. Like I'm complete opposite. Like I've got so much energy that I just gonna bounce about and like try and get the pented up energy away, like my complete nonsense before I go out.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So what would you say have been some of the most memorable moments or matches in your career so far?
um that's a hard one. I when I wrestled Rio for the first time at BW, because that was a match that definitely challenged me. Just based on it was my first time ever wrestling her, first time working for promotion. It was for her title, and she showed up 10 minutes before the match. So that really pushed me to my limit. The match was supposed to get changed. The music guy and the commentator didn't quite get the memo, and our match get called, so we had to just go out. But it was a memorable moment for the fact that it pushed me like something I never thought I'd be able to do is go out there and call the match. But going out there, we got through it and it was amazing. So for me, it was like it showed that I could get to that next level and get through that match if it was called off the cuff. Um, I think as well, like another one was like, oh god, it's so difficult. It was probably like when I done my first match on the ICW tapings as well with Angel Hayes. Like I never expected to ever be on ICW. Like it was Glasgow's. It's like the Scottish biggest wrestling promotion. Like I never expected little Rosie Nyte to get asked to come do closed door tapings during the COVID era. Um, so that was memorable for that reason. Like just that was a thought that I never believed that I could get to, and I got to that point. Whether it be like it was only for like 5 minute matches, 3 minute filler matches, to me it still meant a lot. Like getting that moment and knowing that I was going to be in the WWE network, even if it was getting battered for 5 minutes, I didn't care. Like I was able to say I'd been on the WWE network, and to me that was quite memorable and cool. Like um but yeah, there's like so many. I could sit here all day talking about like memorable moments in my matches, but like memorable matches that I've been in, but there is so many.
Absolutely. So, as mentioned earlier, yourself and Angel Hayes formed the Angels of the Night. Explain to us how that came about.
um, we were on. It was at the time Fierce Females. It was a Scottish promotion. That was an all women's wrestling promotion, and I think one day we were doing a tag, and we were doing a tag match on it, and the both of us went right. How do we link our names together? Like most easiest way to think a tag. And we were like, oh my god, Angels in the Night just works perfectly. Like, and that is literally how that went. We done it on Fierce Females, and then we done it on one of the closed door tapings at ICW. We get put down as Angel Hayes and Rosie Nyte, but the idea was to form Angels of the Night, but obviously like we re-entered normal universe at that point. um But no, yeah, that's how it came about. It was just we get put to tag on a show together, and then we ended up becoming mostly a tag on Fierce Females. We were always like together or cutting promos together. Yeah, it was a good time. It was a good laugh. Angels of the Night. Some of the things that we were doing with it was just ridiculous. So, um, well, I think one of the things was that I was obsessed with. I was playing like I really wanted to make friends with people, and we played like my character didn't really know how you were supposed to make pals, like on Fierce Females, and it was Hannah Taylor. I don't know if you've heard of Hannah Taylor. She's a wrestler in the English scene. She wanted to be in on this, like so. It became that I was very obsessed with being Hannah Taylor's friend, and I was like searching for her on like what when we done the promo. Like obviously you had Bebo, and I called it the Bebo, and I was saying I was trying to find her on the Bebo, the MSN. I think I was like, then I was just playing this weird character, and then every time Hannah was around, I was always there as well. Like, and Angela was always like being like, right, we need to focus. And then at one point, I think no, we did. At one point, we done a match where I thought that how to make friends was to be on Tinder. So we done a match where would set like a Tinder notification to go off so I could get distracted and think that I'd found Hannah Taylor had accepted my friend request on Tinder. Like it was just chaotic. So Angels in the Night was a wee bit unhinged, but we had great fun with it.
Oh, oh, that's brilliant. Oh, fantastic. So, did you find that having a partner changed the way that you navigated the pressures of traveling and performing at all?
No, because me and Angel tended to be on quite a lot of the same shows anyway. And Angel has an amazing mind. Like, obviously, she started training so young, and she knew anything and everything there was to know about wrestling. Like, she was a brilliant mind to work with and tag with, and she always kept me right. I was just starting out and looking at it, so was Angel Hayes, but she wasn't really. She'd been around for so long, but she was so young that it is like, right, we can't have a 13-year-old girl on our shows. Like, um, but she had such an amazing mind that once she hit that age that she could do these kind of shows, it was like, it was someone good to be with all the time. Like, she always had like good feedback, good ways to push the matches, good ways to change up the moves that we were doing. So it was good fun having a tag partner, but yeah, I've now got a new tag partner. Danny K is my new tag partner. I tag with him down in Pride Wrestling. Um,
Hmm.
he is my tag partner, and our tag team name is basically Bye. So you can see where that's going. That tag. um, but yes, we working with him has also been phenomenal. Because obviously I've worked with girls in tags like more predominantly. Obviously I've done mixed tags like on and off, but like he is a solidified tag partner for me down there. And he's also one of these individuals that started training so young that his mind is just phenomenal for wrestling. And I mean, he's one of my closest friends as well, so that makes it more enjoyable for like traveling and like trying out new stuff and everything. Like, yeah, I do find sometimes it's really nice to have someone there, for if you have a moment, they're there, because sometimes in a singles match it's only you and them, but in a tag match you've got your tag partner to come and help and save you if it's something's just going completely wrong. Like, but no, I do enjoy tagging with people. I do enjoy that tag aspect of wrestling.
Absolutely. So, how would you say that your wrestling style has evolved since you first started?
I've just become more chaotic, I would say. No, but when I first started, I always wanted to like be like, oh, I can do. Let's see, like, let me get the biggest move possible. I'll be able to do that. I'm going to do that. I want to look flashy. I want to look agile. I want to look cool. Like, but now I'm kind of like, one good strike makes a difference for me doing a full run spot. Like, and it's like so. But I would also say like, yeah, like to me, like I always want to be this flashy, like here's look at all these, like here's all the cool stuff I can do, but I never really thought about the smaller things. But now I'm very much like, one good strike would make a difference over three big high flying moves. Um, I'll still say like I'm still like pending, still just about to be, just about completion of learning a moonsault. So we've just about got the technique down. So I'm constantly still evolving my move set into like different things for like different characters, you know, like. But my character tends to be unhinged. You don't know what you're getting. You could get one really good strike, or you could get like a satellite DDT. Who knows? Like, it's like I wake up and I'm Rosie, so my mood that day of that show determines Rosie's character, how Rosie's feeling as well in that ring. Like that's the way,
Mhm.
because you're always told your wrestling character is you times 1,000. Like if Roshin's not really feeling like let's do a suicide dive. Rosie's certainly not feeling like doing a suicide dive that day. Like, so that's kind of where the unhinged chaotic comes from, because there's not really a rhyme or reason as to why I'm doing things. It's just me. One minute I could be pure sound, the next minute I've lost it. Like,
Absolutely, absolutely. We've got a quick comment, a quick question from our very good friend Liam from the Magic of Wrestling,
oh
who
hi.
asks, "What was it like working with heel turn media?"
Oh, he's fantastic, brilliant. He's been showing up at Shield Pro doing some footage. My recent footage on my Instagram is me getting a pounce from Katie Mills. And I mean, Elphaba says that she can defy gravity, but that pounce made me defy gravity. Like that was that was the full definition of Wicked the movie. That pounce. No, phenomenal guy, really genuine. I've been talking to him as well, like just over Instagram about like random things, like like the slow mo videos, the promo pics, phenomenal. Such a great guy. I'd recommend anyone work with him if he's around your shows, because he's always there somehow.
Absolutely, big shout out to heel turn media. Liam's got one more message. Some big airtime there, Rosie.
It was, it was. I was. Do you know what I mean? When you're like, you're up in the air and you're like, at one point I need to come down, but when am I coming down?
Absolutely. So, final question from the first part before we get into the Instagram questions and then the mental health side of things.
Okay.
Obviously, everyone that knows you, Rosie, knows that you made the decision to retire
Yeah.
a couple of years back. Was there a specific moment where you knew it was time to step away, or was it sort of like a gradual realization that your continuous road was heading in a different direction?
Yeah. So, Yeah, so my personal life took a big, massive upheave. Like it was like a
Hmm.
crazy turnaround. Like I had, and I obviously don't mind speaking about it. I had actually got married. Had my whole future in mind, everything planned out. Like this is it, perfect. 6 months later, the marriage is over. I thought continuing on in wrestling was the right thing to do because it would take my mind away from how I was feeling every day. But every week I was showing up to training late. I couldn't be bothered going to shows. The thought of doing a training match was exhausting. And as time went on and I got deeper into the feelings, I started to hate wrestling. And I never wanted to
Hmm.
get to that point. So I knew it was that point I had to step away before I never stepped back in, if that makes sense. Like I knew if I began to hate it that much, I would have never have went back. And it was not wrestling's fault. It was like what was going on in my life's fault at that point. And I didn't want wrestling to be the brunt of that.
Absolutely. I think I speak for everyone, Rosie, when I say that we are glad that you're back in wrestling because I have watched some of your stuff and it's incredible.
Oh,
Really
thanks.
is incredible.
Thank you.
My pleasure. Uh, we're going to touch on what we just mentioned with the second part of the talk. I'm just going to go through a couple of Instagram questions
Yep.
at you first. Uh, so first one is from APW Jackson Storm,
Okay.
who who asks, who inspired you to become a wrestler and who is your biggest supporter?
Um, Inspired me to become a wrestler. Actually, as embarrassing as it sounds, it was my little brother. Like he set out with that goal. Logan Smith, he set out with that goal, and we all laughed at him. Not gonna lie, we all laughed at him, and we all thought, "Pff, no chance is he ever gonna do anything with that." And then I watched him in that ring, just living it up, people cheering for him, like, and it was that moment where my mind just went, "Oh my god!" Like he's actually living what he promised he would live. So he is my biggest inspiration in wrestling. I still look up to him every single time. Like the boy has done amazing things. Like he was what a part of the young team on ICW. Like he is he now runs one of the training schools at PBW in Port Glasgow. Um, he has turned what he wanted in the beginning to go to WWE and blah 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 into like his dream of he wants to coach wrestling, he wants to watch the generation coming up, and that inspires me that he decided that do you know what, WWE is not for me. Like I want to follow my dreams inside the ring and coach a future generation of people that might, never know, make it one day to WWE. So yeah, and my biggest supporters are my family and my partner. Like they all just parentally support me, no matter what I do, no matter what chaotic, crazy thing that I'm telling them I'm going to be up to. They're just like, no problem, Rosie. On you go. Have fun. Let me know how that goes when you're finished with it.
Fantastic stuff. Next one is from, I'm going to butcher this name, so I am sorry if you're watching this. I think it's Niam.
Oh, Neve, my wee sister. Totally not Neve.
Uh,
Yes, that's my sister.
uh, she asks, was there someone close to you who helped you get through things? If so, how?
Oh wow, yeah. Neve hitting me with the my wee sister hitting me with the real questions. No, actually, funnily enough, and this is not just because she wrote it, but um, Neve, she's only 16, right? But when I was going through everything I did, that girl did not leave me alone. Like, she was permanently there for me. Like, she was constantly with me. She was coming to stay with me to make sure I was okay. And like, she would make me stay with her. Like, with her and my mum. Like, like she was my biggest advocate for me turning everything that happened into a positive. And well, she would have only been 13 at the time that all that was going on, and she was that inspirational at that age. Like, sky's her limit with like how much change she brought. Um, and my mum and my dad as well. Like, my whole family as a whole. If it wasn't for them, I don't think I would be sitting here with a smile on my face right now, because they all, when I say my family rally, they rally. They do not let any of us feel like we're struggling and not offer the help or force the help upon us. So, but yeah, if we're talking like out there, my wee sister at such a young age, she took such a step up to just make sure her big sister was okay. So big up Neve.
Absolutely. Big shout out to Neve. Next one is from the Dudes at Ringside podcast,
Okay.
who asks, what is your favourite place to eat after a wrestling show?
KFC. I love a twister fillet wrap. Kentucky
Fantastic.
meal.
And a final one. Final one is from our very good friend Liam from Magical Wrestling, who asks, has your brother paid his debt yet?
No, Liam, he has not. Logan Smith, move. I actually had a discussion with him when I went in, and I said, see that £100? He went, you're still not getting it. Big up Logan Smith, great
Brilliant.
guy.
Fantastic. Right, Rosie. So this is the part where we're going into the mental health side of things.
Okay.
So guys, before we get into this, make sure that you check out the description down below if you are suffering with mental health. I've put links to suicide prevention, domestic abuse helplines as well. Also, organizations that help with mental health in its entirety as well. Make sure you go check that out. Also, I have put a couple of links to Rosie's Instagram and her Twitter or X page in the description below. Also, if you follow the QR code just above Rosie's head, that's a link to Rosie's Instagram as well. So make sure you go check that out. But
Wait,
for
you
now,
see
guys,
that pounds?
you can see the pounds. I'm going to meme it. I'm going to replay it on this podcast forever and ever because it's going to be funny. So, with that being said, guys, we'll be back in 2 seconds.
Okay.
So, Rosa, to start off this set of questions, what is your biggest fear?
Oh, wow. My biggest fear is losing who I am, like losing my personality and who I remember being.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Have you ever had a situation where you felt as though that is happening at all?
Yeah, I have, yeah. Lots.
Mm.
Loads of times. Like, I've always felt that creeping up, and sometimes I have lost myself where I've got up and looked in the mirror one day and went, I don't even know who you are anymore. Like, it's a horrible realization, but it's also sometimes the kick you need when you don't realize that you're kind of getting out of control. Like, the way you are and the way you're presenting yourself is not who you remember.
Absolutely. So, can you share a bit about when you first started experiencing your struggles with mental health?
Um, for me, it was when I was a bit younger, like, so I don't even know why this came about. Oh, I do actually, I tell a lie. So I ended up in hospital because my appendix had burst. And
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't seem like a lot to people, but my appendix had burst, and it was just before my fifth year high school exams, so I was already stressed out to the max. I had ambitions. I was going to be a vet. Um, so I was doing really good. I was getting all the top grades when I was doing like my prelims, and I was getting like A's, straight out A's. And then I ended up with a sore stomach. My mum had actually taken me to the hospital the week before, and they sent me home, basically saying I had an upset stomach. Just go home. A week later, I woke up in excruciating pain. My mum took me back up to the hospital, and they said, "We'll keep her in overnight for observation. We'll just see how things go." Um, I will, don't remember the nurse's name, but big up the nurse. She came in, said I didn't look right at all when took emergency bloods. When they took emergency bloods, they realised that I had poison in my blood, so I was going septic essentially. It turned out that my appendix had actually burst. So this was like about a month before my first exam. So I had the surgery and I'd woke up. And all my focus was is I've got exams. Like, not that I just had surgery, not that I was just septic. I had surgery. No, I have exams in a month. Um, I'd obviously wasn't very well after the surgery. I still went in and sat all my exams and stuff. But one of the things I started struggling was like eating. So I
Mhm.
ended up kind of avoiding the conversation of food. I was avoiding at lunchtime going to get food with my friends, and in the house I was actively avoiding eating full dinners. I was kind of half eating it if I was sitting in front of my family. Um, then when it got to a point where I got called down in the school, and it was actually one of my friends had went to, like, the pastoral care service. Um, and reported, obviously, she had not seen me eating at all. Like, I'd just been drinking fizzy juice. She'd never seen me when they were all going for food. I was going somewhere else for food, like, and saying that I'd bought food and ate it by the time they'd got out. So my friend at the time had expressed that concern, and the pastoral care teacher had phoned my mum. My mum was really upset about it. I didn't understand why I was doing it. So that was hard for me, because I still to this day don't know, was it the surgery, was it the stress, was it but during that time, obviously, I was not feeling myself, because I wasn't providing myself with the energy and nutrients I needed to help me with that stress. And although I'd not made myself gravely ill yet, my mum had a conversation with me, like, I don't want it to get to that point where we have to go and seek, like, full professional help. Like, so my mum and that didn't judge me for it. They just supported me. So I would say that was
Mhm.
probably my first bout where I realised that how quickly mental health can just dissipate. Like, there was no rhyme or reason behind it. I didn't really know I'd changed, but everyone else had noticed changes from that one bad experience of, like, a surgery. Like, and looking back, I'm like, that was a bit silly, wasn't it? Because it like, one of the things that I always get commented on is, like, being skinny, and, like, I really struggle to gain weight, and I always say, oh, was it that one experience? And forever I'll just be this skinny, and I'll always struggle to gain weight. And, like, I have constantly been to doctors asking them to say, like, if I got something wrong that's making me unable to gain weight. And I don't, but that's even that silly thing of people saying I'm too skinny, and that was something I always get picked on in school. So, like, to this day, when people still say, oh, you're too skinny, you need to gain a bit of weight, like, that still gets to me, because I could eat 5 meals out of McDonald's and still don't know where the weight goes, because it just doesn't go anywhere. Um, so I think that due to that happening to me in high school, it's still something that kind of triggers me per se today, when people still call me too skinny, because that's what I was called in high school. Too skinny, you should eat a meal, you should do this. And then after I got over my wee issue with eating, which was short lived, because my mum's a scary woman, brilliant woman, scary woman. Um, but after I got over that, like I feel like that's stuck with me the rest of my life. Is that you're too skinny, you're too this, you're too that, and yeah, it's one of these things that still get me to this day. Is like I will never understand how people can go to someone and say you're too heavy, like, and the person that's like maybe got a bit more weight on them gets offended, but the person that's too skinny shouldn't be offended by that and get upset about it. And it's the same principle. Like I don't like how skinny I am, and I don't think a lot of people realise that that is a very big. That's a very big what do you call that? Try to word it. It's a very big insecurity for me, is how skinny I am
Mhm.
compared to everyone else. And a lot of people don't see that. They just think, oh, well, she's skinny, she's fine. But it's a really big insecurity to me how skinny I am. And I try so hard to gain weight. Like, I'll sit and eat steaks 2 times a week, 3 times a week. Like, I try everything. I've tried the protein powder, I've tried the bulking. It just doesn't happen. Um, so I think a lot of people don't see that the kind of stuff that goes on in the background of like the trigger of, yes, I had an issue eating in high school. I got bullied in high school for being too skinny. And then I have tried my darn hardest to gain weight, but it just never comes on. I've been to doctors, I've fought doctors on it. Like a lot of people don't see that. And I know I've just rambled on there, but it all kind of leads into the same, how that still affects my mental health to date, is all these past traumas and triggers that I had that still impacts me to this date.
Absolutely, can completely see where you're coming from with that one. So, there's a has there been specific challenges related to mental health that you face within the wrestling industry at all? I've got some examples: performance anxiety, pressure, travel, body imagery, which you've already touched on, and
Yeah.
social media scrutiny. Do any of those sort of like relate to you whatsoever?
Body image, yes. Like I know I don't look I don't look like a jacked wrestler, and I'm looking at people's Instagram photos and I'm going, Jesus Lord, like you look great. Like, and then there's wee scrawny Rosie Nyte standing beside you. Like, to me, I judge myself very harshly. Like I don't go I have this my partner would tell you as well, everyone would tell you, I have this like cocky confidence persona where I'm like, ah, well, she looks good. But really in my head, I'm judging every aspect of like the way I look, like the way the picture was taken, the angle the photo was taken, like body image to me, because I am tall, I am lanky, I'm not like pure muscly. Am I toned and defined? Yeah, but to me, I'm like, That's not enough because I've not got any muscles on me. Like, where's my muscles? I'm trying so hard, but yet the muscles don't come. And like you're looking at all these females that look absolutely sensational, but I know sometimes in my own head there's probably a lot of insecurities they have too. But I wouldn't judge that, put that opinion on them. Like, oh, where's your insecurities? But some people just don't. Some people are confident in the way they look, and like to me, that's amazing. But to me, I judge everything I put on. Like before I post anything on social media, I'm like judging it, getting it checked by someone saying, should I post this? Like I'm really bad for just double checking. Like if they like some of my videos I go, do you know think that looks a bit weird? But and the person's like, it looks absolutely fine, just post it. Like what are you talking about? It's fine. I feel like I need to present as this amazing superhuman on social media when I don't really, and I know that, but I don't know why I continue to do it. You know?
Absolutely. I heard a quote the other day, and I believe it's from Theodore Roosevelt. It's comparison is the thief of joy. Would you say that that is
Yeah.
quite relevant?
Yeah, no, it is. You're right. Yeah, it is a good quote. It is. It sometimes takes away your joy. when you're comparing yourself to everybody else. But in today's society, how can you not? Like, it's happening all over, isn't it? Like, kids are like judging themselves based on other people that are living different lives, but they think they need to have that life, and it's causing so much problems today in today's society. Of social media is a big problem, and although yes, I use it, I'm not going to sit here and go I hate social media, I'm deleting all my accounts. I do hate social media for the fact that children these days don't have a life outside of social media anymore. Like, their life is social media.
Absolutely, absolutely. Could not agree with that anymore. Um, would you say that there's been any particular moments or periods in your career so far where your mental health struggles have felt particularly overwhelming at all?
Through personal or just wrestling?
It's up to you.
I would say like everything was going good. Like, I was doing the closed door tapings. I was doing dark matches at Eve. I was I was pretty much booked up every single weekend. I was so busy. I was doing all this, and then I obviously then went through my marriage separation, which ruined that role I was on, because at that point I couldn't be bothered anymore, because I couldn't see where my future was anymore. I'd had this whole future mapped out, and the perfect life, and the what was next stage, and then that bit just disappeared. There was nothing next after that in my head. My head had convinced me that there was nothing next. Like, I had no plans anymore. Like, it was like it's like everything that I'd planned and hoped for and ambitioned, it was just gone. It was just like one overnight, like bam, disappeared. Like, and I think that made me then not see a future in wrestling anymore. As a counter effect to that, like, I stopped seeing that future in my wrestling career. Because at that point I didn't see the point in planning for a future that, like, I didn't see the point in planning for futures that didn't exist. Like, um I think part of me had went, oh, I'd planned for all of this life. I'd planned how well wrestling was going to be. This thing went wrong. So how can I trust what my future is going to be there as well? And it was
Mhm.
that trick on the brain of, yeah, I no longer having to try and achieve, or like, it's, I don't even know what I'm trying to achieve anymore.
Absolutely. Would you say that there was any kind of like imposter syndrome whatsoever in your early start, in your early like phase of your career?
Yeah, I kind of get that actually. Yeah, they always say, uh, I they always say your character is you times 1,000. To me, when I started being Rosie Nyte and I had all this love, all this fan base, like, to me, I kind of went, I want to be Rosie Nyte. And it was like, but I'm Rosie Nyte. But my brain couldn't work that out, that we are the same person. But I was got, people treat Rosie different than they do Roisin. Like,
Mm.
everybody wants to know Rosie, but who wants to know me? And that, to me, that kind of messed with my mind a wee bit. Like, did people want to know me for the fact that I was just me, or did they want to know me because I was a wrestler and I was wrestling on shows with like big names like Grado and Mark Coffey and stuff like that? Like, did people want to know me for that, or did people want to know me because they liked me as a person? Like,
Mhm.
so, and then fans, like, they're all like, "We love you, Rosie," and I'm like, "Yeah, but why does no one love Roisin?" Like, um, so I found it really difficult in the beginning to kind of differentiate that, like, how I was Rosie. Like, people did love me, but I always done musical theatre when I was younger, so I always knew it was a portrayed character. And to me, Rosie's a portrayed character, but obviously I took that part of that my coach had advised, take yourself, times it by 1,000, and I'd done that. And I was like, "Ah, right, well, everyone loves Roisin as Rosie times 1,000, but no one likes it. It's not no one liked me, you know what I mean? Like, it was like I got treated differently when I became Roisin. Like,
Hmm.
you know, and then shutting off after a show was really difficult. Like sometimes, like my partner still laughs about it after a show. She's like, ah, "That was very Rosie of you to say." Like, so yeah, I did. I felt like kind of Rosie was taking over my life, and Roisin was just kind of doing her 9 to 5 job, so Rosie could do what she wanted on the weekend. You know,
Sounds sort of like a real life Jekyll and Hyde situation.
basically what it was like. It's like, ah, right, Roisin, you go and do all the boring stuff, so Rosie can do the fun stuff. Agreed, agreed. On you go, hen.
Fantastic. So, when your struggles have felt particularly overwhelming, is there any sort of coping mechanism or strategy that you found effective?
Oh God, for me, it's like just it's being around people. Like even if I don't want to talk to
Mhm.
them, just being with people. Like I will come in on my own terms, but I really struggle with like when I'm going through stuff, opening up about it. I tend to bottle up how I'm feeling. Like I tend to hide it under this false kind of smiley bubbliness. So I would rather just sit with people and talk when I'm ready to talk. And like, yeah, it's a hard one because I like to hide my issues and I still do. And I try so hard not to, but I like to kind of hide them and hope somebody notices that I'm struggling, which a lot of people do now. A lot of people can determine when I'm just not me, or when I'm kind of putting on that fake I'm okay persona. Um, but yeah, for so long I had under this cocky, fake, confident attitude when inside my wee head was like, like that meme where the guy's just standing outside, the wee dog standing outside and the place is just burning. That was the way my brain went. Like I was
Mm.
just standing there smiling and the world was burning. Like everything was on fire behind me. Like that I was that meme forever. Um but now I think just like my partner, she's amazing at it. Like if she knows that I'm not doing great mentally or I'm struggling or there's something going on with me and I just need time to myself, she'll just sit silently and she won't say anything to me and she'll eventually let me talk when I'm ready, kind of thing. Um so that tends to be what I need is for somebody just to sit back and wait for me to speak. And usually 9 times out of 10, if you're quiet long enough, I will talk to you. Like, because I can't cope with quietness. So usually I like to put myself under that situation of I hate the quiet. So that eventually I'll go, right, here's what's going on with me. Like, because I can't cope with the silence. So
Absolutely.
not the normal coping strategy, but it's my version of it.
Absolutely. Do you ever find yourself, whether it's a training, whether it's a show, whether it's just around people like your normal friends, do you ever find yourself sort of trying to avoid letting people know that you're not struggling so that you don't talk about it in case it gets upsetting or anything like that?
Eh, yeah, so I don't tend to tell my people what I'm struggling with or how I'm struggling because in the past, like, I don't want to delve too much into that one, unfortunately, but in the past when
Yeah.
I've tried to open about how I'm feeling, I've been shut down or made out to be a nasty person for opening up about how I'm feeling. So, and I'm just putting this out here that that's not reflective of my family or my friends, that's reflective of past relationships. I've always felt like I'm not allowed to talk about it because it's just a problem rather than, and it's not a problem that I need help with. It's a problem to that individual that I'm not able to talk about it, you know. Um, so I've always struggled with speaking to people in case I become a burden to them due to that kind of previous. Um, Obviously now I know that once you've got better people around you that are willing to listen and they know that you just need that ear, it's better. But it's a long time of trying to, you know, like get that thought away from me every time I feel like there's something wrong with me. It's still the first thought that pops into my head, like, you're a problem, just leave it. Like, don't annoy somebody else with your problems. Um it's still something that I work on to this day, is just trying to be a bit more open. But as my wee sister would tell me, I am just I am a concrete wall that slowly is getting chiseled down, but it's is I'm getting a lot better at opening up. But to this date, before I still think about a problem I've got, I just remember that thought hits my brain first of, you're just going to be a problem. Like, it's the why are you going to people to tell your issues to, like, just deal with it kind of thing.
I completely agree with you. I myself suffer with that as well, so I do understand where you're coming from with that.
Yeah.
So you've obviously mentioned your family and your partner. Um, is there any other support system that you rely on both within and outside of wrestling at all?
I would say, you know, your wrestling family does become a family. Like, there is a few people in training that I still very much open up to. One of the individuals being Danny K. He's 10 years younger than me, but he's a brilliant guy. Like, he will listen to me ramble on for hours about stuff that is bothering me and not have any bad to say about it. Like, he'll just let me. Previously, I've actually, when I was going through my separation and stuff, one of the people that was actually really good for me speaking to was Kid Fight, my coach. Like, he's, you know, like, people just sometimes are like, ah, he's just my training coach. Like, he really genuinely cares about all of his trainees. He sat down with me one day and helped me through a lot of stuff. Not just like mental stuff, but it was like stuff that needed sorting, and he helped me understand the processes of stuff and was just there to be an ear, like, and just to talk about everything. And like, in that moment, you do realise that a coach isn't just your coach, it's someone that's going to be there to support you. And I can safely say that man supported me a lot. And my decisions for leaving wrestling, he understood, but he always told me point blank the door was always open for me when I was ready. Um, I obviously have, like, there's loads of people in wrestling, to be honest. Like, wrestling is, we at one point all of us have struggled, so we all know. But like, the amount of people that checked in, like Katie Mills, she's another phenomenal one. Like, she's like someone I grew up with my whole life. Weirdly enough, like, we were always raised to believe we were cousins. We're not actually blood related, but we stick to the assignment that we're cousins. Like, we'll tell everyone we're cousins, because we were raised that way. I was raised to believe her mum was my auntie. She's also somebody that I can go to if I'm struggling. Like, and do you know what? Katie and Danny are the two that I don't even need to say to them I'm struggling. They can just know. They just spot it straight away. Um, and that's nice to have. And although Katie's like my fake family, but real family in my head, and Danny's one of my closest pals, that's that's still inside of wrestling and outside wrestling. I have both these supports. Like, they know a lot about my personal life. But then they also know when I'm different inside wrestling, which is a nice thing to have. Actually, another like weird shout out is the Pro 2, the guy that owns Pro 2, Cameron Finlay. When I was going through what I went through, he actually sat for hours voice noting me on, and by that point, I'd already left Pro 2. I'd already made mistakes. I'd already kind of told him I didn't want the belt anymore, have it back. Like, but he knew that that wasn't me speaking, it was my mental health speaking. And he was fantastic with it. Although, yeah, I did. I still gave the belt back. I relinquished it, walked away for wrestling. He didn't just go, "Oh, do you know what? Fuck her." Like, he knew that I had changed outside the ring as well. So he was also another guy, bigs up to him. Like, he was always checking in on me, giving me advice and being supportive. And even to this day, he still messages me just to kind of drop me like some form of inspirational Gandhi quote. Like, he's a really, really nice guy. Like, and yeah, outside of wrestling, like, I've got my usuals. I've got my best friend, a couple of my best friends, Luke and Chloe and Fraser. They're like my closest friends outside of wrestling, and they always will be. Tony as well, and I could go to them about anything. I've not seen some of them in about 7 months, but if I was to text one of them and say SOS, everything's just went wrong, they'd be at my door, and like, depending on their commute, they would be there straight away to come help, like, and make sure I was just okay. Like, or just tell me like, we're meeting here, we're gonna walk. Like, sometimes your closest friends are the people you don't see every day, and your best support's the people you don't see every day, and they are the people for me.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree with you more. So, when you're feeling particularly overwhelmed, is there a certain thing, like an activity that you like to do? Is a certain song? Do you like going for walks, things like that?
Um, Weirdly enough, a lot of people don't know this about me. When I don't feel okay, I tend to write. Like, I tend to like just start writing. Like, uh, I was recently struggling. I was working down in England and I was away for 3 weeks, and it'd been the longest time that in a long time that I'd been away from home. Um,
Mhm.
and although people say you're 29, get a grip, you were working away, I wasn't getting to go home every night. I wasn't in my safe space. Like, I didn't know people. I was like learning. I was doing training, like my actual shoot job. I was training in that. I didn't know anyone. I was the only Scottish person in the building. That was the even worse part. Like, no one could understand what I was saying half the time. I was I was one of there was only two females in that whole course. Like, I felt so out my depth. Like, I felt so strange. Although the boys were great and I really got along with them, I still struggled. Like, I wanted to be home. Like, I missed my partner, I missed my mum, I missed seeing my pals, I missed cuddling my dog, like silly things, like just being home and being able to go home every night. But I wasn't able to go home until the Friday night, and I was there for the Sunday. Like, it was tough. Go in a hotel room yourself for like 6 nights. It was brutal. So I started writing a book. Like, I like to write like novels or short stories when I don't feel right, and I tend to put my life, like a version of my life, into a fictional story, but it's actually non-fiction. It's actually real, but I've made it almost fictional, if that makes sense. But it's about my life. So yeah, that's a funny one. Never ever released anything I've wrote, but I do tend to write like small short stories about how I'm feeling, or about my life, or things that have happened in my life that I want to get down on paper or computer. So yeah, I do. I'm actually a wee, what do you call that? A wee novelist when I'm not feeling right or I need to clear my head. I clear it all down in a story.
Fantastic stuff. So, what message would you give to someone, whether that be a wrestler, whether they're a fan, whether they've stumbled across this video randomly? What message would you give to that person that's struggling with their mental health and feels though they can't talk?
People say it's, I suppose now it's a generic thing that everyone's going to say, and like it's everywhere, but it is okay not to be okay. Like, there's like, like when a storm happens, there's a rainbow. Like, there's always something beautiful that comes from a storm. If you'd asked me this 3 years ago, I'd have went, shove it, nothing's ever going to get better. But I believe you go through what you go through because something else is waiting for you. You need to experience what you experience so that you can be stronger for the next hurdle that comes. Like, life is just a big hurdle. Like, you don't drive down a permanent road and there's not a speed bump. There's always a speed bump somewhere. Like, you need to overcome that speed bump. And the only way you can overcome it is with, like, how you handle it. Like, you wouldn't just stand at the end of that speed bump and not walk over it. You would walk over the speed bump and deal with it. To me, there is so many ways rather than just verbally talking that you can make someone aware that you're struggling. Like, listen to me, like, number on. Like, I write short stories that are non-fictional, but I've made them fictional. It's describe how I'm feeling in that moment. Like, all it takes is you sending that to someone, and someone that knows you well is going to pick that up. Like, to me, you're not just subjected to talking anymore. There's so many different routes you can go down. There's like what people send quotes to each other. Like, that's just enough. Like a quote, or just a I need you, or a bloody emoji to say that you're struggling. Like, give your friends or your family an emoji that it becomes an indicator that you're struggling, and that's all you need. You don't need to, if you struggle to talk, you don't need to talk. You can write it, you can draw it, you can do whatever. Talking's not my strong point either when it comes to my emotions. So I get that talking is difficult, which is why I've found my niche. Like, some people write music and sing it. Like, a lot of these artists out there have made their money for taking life experiences they have went through by writing it down and recording it. Like, um music is made by how they're feeling in that moment, I believe, anyway, because I believe music speaks to people. It tells you how you're feeling in that moment. If you're feeling horrible in a moment, that random song that you've never heard is going to come on the radio and you're going to cry to it, but that's okay. That's the point of the song. But you're not any less for struggling. No one is. No one's any less for having struggles in life. If anything, you've been set up to go through these struggles because the world, somewhere in this world, knows that you're strong enough to handle it and you're strong enough to get through it. And that's personally what I believe. You go through what you go through so that next time that speed bump's slightly smaller and you're like, no, I know how to handle this situation. And it doesn't result in like doing an RKO to somebody, because that's not what I'm saying the answer. What I'm saying the answer um is basically getting through it. And if you genuinely need help, there's so much now. Like, for domestic abuse, you've got women's aid. Not even domestic abuse, if you're just struggling mentally, there is people at women's aid that will speak to you. There is the online, there is a new system that I have forgot the name of, but you can actually text somebody, and you can just text them if you're struggling. You don't need to sit on a phone to them. You just send them a text and it's free to use. Like, when I was struggling, I used them and they were phenomenal. It was like having a conversation with your pal over text message. But the difference for me was it was somebody that didn't actually know me personally. They did not know my background. They did not know my history. They did not know anything to do with the situation. That was a phenomenal service. If I find the link, if I find it, I will send it. I will add it to this video on a link, so it was phenomenal for me. It was like talking to a pal, and they don't expect you to reply rapid. They'll send you a text back like, "Oh, what's going on, mate?" Like it's like having a conversation with your pal, and it was brilliant. Like, and it wasn't obvious you were talking to somebody about your mental health. It was like it was one of the best wee things that I used. It was brilliant. I don't know if you've ever heard of that, but it's just a wee, yeah, you're just texting each other like it's casual. Like you've just met somebody and you had went to the pub a few nights ago and you're just catching up for the other night there. It was really good. There is so much that if you can't talk verbally, but if you can, you've got Samaritans, you've got Cams as well. Cams is really good. They've got a lot like meditation stuff. It's all about finding how you can put yourself back in control, because sometimes these situations are, they make you feel out of control, and that's what us humans hate the most, is not being in control, and taking away that control from us is our mental health. But you're in charge of your own brain. Like, don't let your brain be in charge of you. You control it. Don't let it control you. Like, I always say that you can convince your brain anything. You can convince your brain that you're hungry, and about 15 minutes later, you'll probably be starving. Like, you can hold, like, one of my favourite things, hold your pee in and convince yourself, I don't need to pee, and then you actually forget you need to pee. Like, and then 3 years later, you're like, I should probably go and do the toilet. I needed to pee 3 hours ago. Like, you're in control. Don't let mental health take control of you, because there is always a way out of it, and it's a positive way out of it, and that's just by realizing that, like, ugh, kicking mental health's arse, man. It's a pain. It is debilitating, but just kick it in the head, like super kick straight to the head, man, and that's it. Mental health's done with it. Like, phone Angel Hayes, ask her to super kick it, and it'll never get back up. I can promise you that one. Or get KT Mills to pounce it away, and that'll be it. It'll be flying in the air for about 10 years. No, but in all seriousness, it is. It's just, it's something we struggle with, is a lack of control when it comes to our mental health. But we are in control over it, and it's the path we choose. And I would always say, I have been down the dark path, and you don't want to go down it, because getting back out to that light is worse than starting for the minute you know that you need help. Sorry, that was a lot. That was pure
Absolutely.
rambling.
No, absolutely no problem. I like it. I like having a guest that rambles, because it means that we get more stuff out of them. So, obviously, as we mentioned earlier, you briefly retired
Yeah.
for a certain amount of time. Was there any point during you retiring and you returning where you found it difficult discovering who Rosie is when she isn't Rosie Nyte? And what advice would you give to other performers struggling with that transition?
Well, once you've stepped away,
Yeah.
for me, I stopped watching anything to do with Rosie. I didn't. I put all my photos of Rosie Nyte into a different album for my photos. Anything wrestling related got away. When I was first struggling, I actually, obviously, people won't know this, but when I first stepped away, anything to do with wrestling, I had, on Facebook, you can put, I don't want to see things like this for now. I'd done that. I'd silenced everything to do with it. Anything to do with wrestling, I kind of disappeared from. I stopped watching WWE. I deleted my WWE membership. Like, I didn't really go and watch wrestling. I didn't even go and watch my wee brother wrestling. Like, I really just disappeared for the wrestling world. I just got rid of it all. Like, didn't get rid of it per se, but I put it all elsewhere. I went and put it in a memory suitcase that was locked for a bit, until I was ready to reopen it. Part of me doesn't think that was a healthy way to deal with it. I think that if I was to do that again, I would say live that again, live it, because that was you at one point, and it was also you at your best mental health. Unless wrestling was the cause of your mental health, then maybe just follow my previous suggestion. But if it's to do with your personal life, remember, look at the photos and look at the videos and remember that was you in your best mental health era. Remember that, how much joy that gave you and how much satisfaction that gave you. And yes, it was your character that was getting the satisfaction, but also what I finally realised is I still walk away from that match feeling happy and feeling the effects of that match. So it's still me. Um, so you've got to remember, it doesn't always need to be in ring things. Remember that time that you went to, I don't know, you were all building a ring and then the show finished and you all went and sat at McDonald's for 45 minutes, how you felt in that moment. Like, you don't need to forget them, but you don't need to live them anymore. Like, don't forget those memories before your mental health get bad. Like, that would be my advice, is don't get rid of them, remember them. That's a time where you were in your, should we say, prime. You were in your best headspace, you were in your best time, you were living your best life, you were living the dream that you might have had since you were two and you were kidding on, you were Jeff Hardy on the trampoline. Like, don't don't get rid of them just because you walked away. Like, like, reminisce about it. Like, it was always a good time. You're going to stay in contact with friends you made through wrestling. You're not going to get rid of them. So don't get rid of the friends you made during, like, don't get rid of the memories you made during that era, because it's not just all about the character. It's all about the friends you made, the memories you had, like the traveling you done, like the crazy long hours you done to shows, like, and like that after match McDonald's, or that after match carry on, like, these are all positive memories that, yes, it was in the wrestling world, but it's not actually wrestling. And that took me too long to realise that myself.
Absolutely. So, Rosie, as we start to wind down, what role has wrestling played in your overall mental health journey? Would you say that it's been a source of strength? Has it been a challenge? Or has it been a bit of both?
A bit of both. I think
Mhm.
because I went through that phase of I hated wrestling, and when I came back, one of the first things that I said to my trainer was, yeah, I was doing well. I was on main shows. I was wrestling every weekend. I was doing this, that, the next thing, and it's been over a year now since I've been back. But I kept very quiet about it. I wasn't interested in letting people know I was back, and I said to my trainer before I came back, I was like, I want to be treated like I've just stepped back into training for the first time ever. Like, I
Mhm.
don't want treated. And do you know what? Kid Fight would never have done this anyway, so I don't even know why I thought. Let me give him that heads up, because he doesn't treat anyone like they deserve things. Like, he thinks you deserve things because you earn it. You earn what you get. Um, I was like, I don't want to be pushed straight back onto main shows. I'm not going to be at every show. I'm not going to be out flyering. I am back because I want to see if my love is there, or did it die when I did hate it, when I despised wrestling. And we are a year in, and I am taking bookings again, and I am now, slowly, after a year, I've started joining back in flyering. I not been making much an effort to get to shows, but that is just, my personal life has been wild right now, just through like changing jobs and like just, everyday adult things. So, but now I'm like, I want to get back to shows. I want to be out building the ring. I want to be doing this. I want to be wrestling every weekend again. But again, I still don't want treated like, because I was around back then, I deserve that.
Mm.
Just because I was a known name in the Scottish scene back then. Well, not kind of known, but like, I was a known name. Like, I don't want to get that just because of the name that I was. I want to show that I deserve to be back on main shows and doing new promotions, all that. Um, yeah, I've really lost the question. So yeah, there was a lot of challenges, but also like it gave me a lot of strength and like strength and confidence again, like confidence within myself. And like I'm always so hard on myself in wrestling. Like I can watch back a match and go, that was shit. Like I am really, but like I will always say to people, I am not the best wrestler at all. Like I don't think I'm fucking Becky Lynch. Like I don't think I'm like or like Rhea Ripley. I don't think I'm that. I do it because now I've realised I love it and I love the enjoyment of doing wrestling. Um, just usual me, just making everything a comedy. But no, it's brought me a lot of strength in finding myself and my smile again. Like, and my love for wrestling. It didn't really die. What died was not wrestling in that moment. It was my views on the perfect future died. So wrestling went with it because I had so much ideology. And I think at that point, I believed I didn't deserve where I was because I was just, in my head, I was just a shit human being. So that then delved into my thought of, well, I'm a shite wrestler as well. So do you know what? We'll just pack up and we'll go. Like, but now I've got strength that actually committing to it, being to training every week and coming out to the shows and going out flying and all that, like it's built back up my strength and confidence to actually join in these things, and not be judged for leaving because I think that was always my anxiety was coming back and people going, oh look there she's back, like, and that's still something, and I never want to be treated like that. So, and I never wanted people to have that view, nor do I think anyone would have, but um that's why I always said when I came back, I didn't want to go back and be like, oh, who's wanting to book me? Because I was like, I'm lucky if I can remember how to do a back bump. So we'll see how that goes. Like, so yeah, it's been challenges and um strength for me as well. So it's been a bit of both.
Fantastic. Last couple of questions. These are a bit more light-hearted just because obviously we're talking about mental health.
Yeah.
It does get a bit upsetting. So when you first retired, it was not really on your terms. When you decide to finally hang up your boots for real, what do you want your legacy to be?
Um. Oh, my legacy. Just that I was unhinged and I want a monster can sitting in the ring as I leave because I love Monster. And that's what my heel persona is, that I'm just unhinged energy and it's the monster can. It's not me. I don't blame myself. I blame the monster can. So I would like to hang my boots up with a wee can of Monster, already drunk, sitting beside them.
Fantastic. What you
Not really an
what
answer you were expecting there, eh?
no, not at all. Professional. What are your aspirations and goals within professional wrestling for the future?
Mings is just to kind of get back to where I was, get a few more, yeah, promotional debuts, like start creeping back in again, and just have fun, enjoy it. Like I'm nearly 30. I'm like my back's about 90 right now, so I just want to enjoy it as long as I can and have fun. Like I don't have big goals to go to America and do WWE. I just want to like basically walk away from it saying those were the best years of my life. Like I had a great time. Like on the independent scene, I lived for it. Like I I don't have aspirations. Am I saying if WWE chat my door and offered me like like three figures, I wouldn't say no. I would say no. I think a lot of people would be lying if they said I. They would say no. I wouldn't. I would be like, yes, bro, I'm coming where the money bags are. But like, but my aspiration is just to keep enjoying it, being myself, and having fun and just, getting to travel a bit. Like, I'd quite like to do a bit of traveling. Like, I'd like to start going kind of outside of the UK. I'd like to travel a bit with it and see, like, what, like, wrestling is like in, like France or Germany. Like, that's what I would love to do. I'd love to just travel a bit in the independent scene.
Absolutely. Final question. I hope you've remembered because I told you this at the beginning. Who
Okay.
is on your War Games team? But one stipulation: you
Oh, you
can't
didn't
pick
tell me that.
Angel. Ah, I've swerved you. You can't
Okay.
pick Angel,
Damn
and you
it.
can't pick anyone that you've partnered with. UK scene as well.
So they need to be UK scene, they can't be WWE. I can't just fling it. Okay. I would have. So anyone that I've wrestled, I can't have.
You can have anyone you've wrestled, just not anyone that you've partnered with. So you can't have
Okay.
Angel.
Okay, so I'll take Rio then,
Yep.
and then I'll take Molly Spartan.
Yep.
I can't take Katie Mills. I've teamed with her. Can't take Casey Owens. Teamed with her. Oh no. Right, who have I said? Rio, Molly. How many people was in our War Games? 4?
You need another 2.
Yeah, 2. Jesus. I will take Melissa Fierce. I'll take her.
Nice.
And Alexis Falcon. There's my War Games team right there. No one's fucking with that. If she was still on the scene, I know she's on a break right now. So, like, I would swap her back in at one point. She could be my, like, rotation. I know she's on a break, but Lizzie Evo, I'd have her in my team as well because that's my gal right there. She would. I mean, that team right there, nobody's fucking with that team. I'm sorted. I can just sit back and be a princess. They can all deal with that.
Fantastic stuff. So, guys, that is it for today's episode of the Unseen Battles. I want to thank Rosie Nyte for joining me. Thank you so much, Rosie.
No, thank you very much. Really appreciate it.
It's been an absolute pleasure having you, Rosie. If there's anything that you want to plug, love, if there's anything you want to get off your chest, anything you want to say before we cut the stream, go for it.
See, this is harder than the War Games question. I struggle with this. No, my brain's lost it. Yeah, I should have had a can of Monster before I came on this. That's what I'm plugging. Monster, bad for you, but good for me. So if you want to get off the Monster, just send it to me. I'll look after it for you.
There we are, guys. As I say, thank you so much for Rosie for joining me. Make sure that you check out all the other episodes as well, guys. Make sure you check out the links in the description. Make sure you go check out Rosie's Instagram on the QR code in the corner. And as always, guys, remember, it's okay to talk. Let's get mental health talked about, not in wrestling, but in life in general. So thank you so much for joining me, guys, and we'll see you next time.